Hello, here I am, and in this video, this video is gonna be the start of many different videos where I'm gonna discuss films, films that I changed my mind on. It's either at some point I hated the film, but I grown to love it, or some films that I but started to hate. And in these series videos, you're probably gonna hear me have my love for the '90s era Dimension Miramax films, and you're probably gonna hear me change my mind with Rob Zombie. You're probably gonna hear hear stuff that's already been said, but hey, it's not a bad idea. And hey, and those other videos have their purpose and their merits, and this video has its purpose and merits. And in this video here, I'm going to be discussing two films that I changed my mind on. And these are films that at first I fucking hated them. At first I fucking hated these films. Yeah. At first I fucking hated these films. But something about them, something about the films themselves kept driving me to see them and rewatch them over and over again. Then through my rewatching of these two films, and they're both direct-to-video sequels, and they're sequels to each other, but they're both direct-to-video sequels to a far superior film, but whatever. At first, yeah, I didn't like these films, but something about them kept drawing me in, and then I realized that these films weren't badly made films, and they were kind of good. They were really good films. And these are Dracula 2 Ascension and Dracula 3 Legacy. Okay, it's just both these films are more of, I view them more as the director's cuts. I view Dracula 2 and 3 not as sequels, but as director's cuts to the first film, because Patrick Lussier, or I say Lussier, not most people pronounce it Lussier. I don't like to say that. I like Lussier. Lussier sounds badass and manlier than Lussier. Plus, there's no fucking R in Lussier, and there's an R in Lussier. Whatever. Just a small pronunciation thing. Okay, I love all of Patrick Lussier's films. The only one that I haven't seen is White Noise to the Light, but I do intend on seeing that film. And I love all of his films. The Prophecy 3 is a terrific film. A great deal of fun. Has an energy, has a great feel to it. Dracula 2000's the best vampire film, best vampire film in that decade of its release. Yeah, and then we're about to get to the sequels. My Bloody Valentine is the perfect example of how to do a remake right. And Drive Angry is just a great deal of fun. It's badass, and it just has energy. It has a funness. It has a lot going for it. But his best movie, the best movie they've done, is Dracula 2000. And despite it being more of the studio's version, more of a studio's version of how they of more of the studio's version of how of the filmmakers over the filmmakers' original intention. I think that the guy still Patrick Lussier still likes the movie, still loves the film, but if you read in interviews, his main intention was the intentions was to have the, hey, I know I would repeat myself, but Patrick Lussier, I would definitely love to get an interview from him, but I don't see that happening. But and I know that I would repeat myself, but that would be really fucking cool, because I would really like to discuss about his films with him. I say that would be really fucking cool. I would like that. But yeah, his original intention was gonna be the thieves steal Dracula's corpse. Then we get the full portion of Dracula 2 Asscension, and then the last 30 minutes of the film is Dracula 2000. Is a condensed version of Dracula 2000. Yeah, so we got the beginning. It's just basically the beginning of Dracula 2000 and Dracula 2 Asscension, sandwiched in between the beginning and the end. Sandwiched between the beginning and the whole film of Dracula 2000. Now, don't get me wrong. Compared to Dracula 2000, both these films lack the quality that film has. That film has a certain quality that I'm sorry to say, but these films don't recreate. They're still fun films, and they still have an energy and a likability to them, but they're not as strong as Dracula 2000. Dracula 2000 has a better tone, and it's more faithful to the original Dracula mythology that was presented in the 1931 Bela Lugosi film. Bela Lugosi film has a whole bunch of references. And shit, that film has a Carfax Museum, has Abraham Van Helsing. It just has more to do with Dracula, and it makes Dracula more of a sympathetic villain, and it makes him has more reasoning than, it makes him have a higher motivation for being there. See, that film's main focus was him trying to get back to the bloodline that was transferred through Abraham Van Helsing, getting established his blood. And it's just him tracking down his bloodline. And there was more reasoning, and the characters were a little bit more developed. They see Dracula 2 and 3 are more like Friday the 13th films. Don't get me wrong, I love my Friday the 13th films, but they're more like this is these are random disposable people, but they're not bad. They're not like, they still have character development, they still have plot, but they aren't as important as Dracula 2000 has. Dracula 2000's characters and writing, and the whole style of that film is superior. Yeah, but Dracula 2 and 3. First, Dracula 2 Ascension. You meet up with some, you meet up with Father Uffizi, and the beginning of the film was actually pretty cool. It kind of has, how I believe, a Jack the Ripper vibe going on, and I like the beginning. You got this beautiful girl being chased by this guy in a coat, and it gives you that impression that this guy's a psychopath chasing this innocent girl. But we come to realize that this girl that he's chasing is a vampire, and that's pretty fucking interesting. I really like the beginning scene. It's just like, this is a great way to set up. The main gripe that I have with the film, with Dracula 2 Ascension and Dracula 3 Legacy, is that they seem to boycott or bypass any explanation to honestly stronger characters like Mary and Simon. But still, these characters aren't bad characters at all. I'm just saying that Mary and Simon are superior than Luke and Father Uffizi, or Luke and Elizabeth Blaine, but still not bad. And then you have Dracula. Then you meet up with Lowell. Lowell is it's kind of a deceitful little motherfucker. Meet up with some med school students, and all of them are likable. They're all likable. They all have a certain charisma with each other, and all of them are good. You meet up with Luke. Luke seems like he's a smart guy. He shows that he's a good person. In few scenes, he shows that he's a good person, and I respect the hell out of him for that. Some of the mythology additions are, shall I say, don't stick up with continuity of the first film, but still they're still there. Then you meet up with yeah, and you just have cool scenes. Father Uffizi, he's kind of a badass, and yeah, you just have him being a badass. You have it's a really cool. It's like a Dracula 2000 is more like expandable. It's more of an expandable place. It's out there. The Dracula 2000 trilogy to me is the Evil Dead trilogy of vampire film, of the vampire genre. And it has similarities to the first three Romero's Dead films. The Dawn of the Dead is equal to Dracula 2000. It's out there. You have a different variety of settings to get to. Day of the Dead is just Day of the Dead is just out. It's claustrophobic. It's claustrophobic, and Dracula 2 Ascension is claustrophobic. It's claustrophobic. Um, and there's no real comparison with Night of the Living Dead because that's claustrophobic too. I guess Land of the Dead. Land of the Dead is Dracula 3 Legacy, with its being a little bit more out there, but still a little bit confined. A little bit confined. But, yeah, you got Dracula 2. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Stephen Billington as an actor, but he still provided a somewhat decent performance. He definitely ain't no Gerard Butler. Gerard Butler done a phenomenal job that cannot be topped. Stephen Billington is the worst out of the three. Honestly, he's just the worst out of the three. But the end of battle between him and Father Uffizi is kind of cool. There's kind of like some energy, and you have some things where the girl gets attacked and with the teeth in the beginning as she's getting affected, and her big reveal that she turned into vampires kind of pulls on your heartstring with the great music in the background. And yeah, you get some cool funny characters like the African American guy. I think his name is Kari Payne in real life. I think Kenny's his name. You have Eric, and you have Eric being the British guy who's kind of like a co-backstabber with Craig Steffer's lol. It's a fun film. It's a fun film. It's not high art. It's not high art like Dracula 2000 was. That was a high art film. A high art film to me. Dracula 2 Ascension was just a fun film, not a bad film at all, just kind of a bit of a downgrade in comparison, but still a damn fun film. Now, Dracula 3 Legacy. You continue the story of Father Uffizi and Luke. And to be honest, if you were to ask me how I rate these films, it would be Dracula 2000, Dracula 3 Legacy, and Dracula 2 Ascension. That's how I would rate them. Dracula 3 Legacy is a better film than Dracula 2 Ascension, but it's not by much. It's still there. But anyways, Dracula 3 Legacy, you just follow Father Uffizi and Luke, and then they get into some crazy encounters, like you have vampire on stilts. You just have a lot going on. You have Father Uffizi being a badass. You meet up with some martial war going on. And it's just martial war going on. And then the ending of Dracula 3 Legacy is kind of a cool way. It's depressing as fuck. But it kind of pulls on your heartstrings, and it's just really good. Yeah, it's just fun. It's fun. I seriously wish for Patrick Lussier to do a fourth Dracula film that's a little bit more faithful to Dracula 2000. Like, I don't know. Be a little bit more faithful to Dracula 2000 and have Mary Van Helsing and Simon track down Luke. Luke beat his ass for what he has unleashed on this world, and make and just make make it so that Dracula, that Father Uffizi is Dracula, turns into Dracula because Dracula needed a new body. He needed a new body, and he transferred his soul into Father Uffizi's body. And that's Father Uffizi's body is Dracula. That's Dracula now. And then, yeah. And Rutger Hauer is a superior actor to play Dracula. Yeah, Stephen Billington was just the weakest out of the three. And Dracula 2 Ascension was still a fun film, but it was the weakest out of the three. See you guys later, and thank you guys for watching.